Ladies and gentlemen, some crazy things are happening to crypto right now as we speak. Recording this right now from the Maldives. And one of the craziest things that happened today, I have to say, is that we have ourselves a supposed insider who opened a $300 million Bitcoin short and then started to basically state that something crazy is going to happen to Tether. Now, I personally don't really think anything is going to happen. I just think he has, hundreds of millions of dollars riding on this, so he's going to FUD the living crap out of it. And in addition to that, it is a bit interesting that he was quite right, but then again, mostly people like to put a lot of pressure, a lot of narrative on the idea that, oh, he opened a short and pretty quickly afterwards the price, I should maybe do it like this. Ooh. What is that? Oh, look at that, huh? Look at the lighting there. And pretty quickly after the price fell significantly, but I think something that a lot of people tend to underestimate is how often some people have to try. The fact that people sometimes open multiple positions throughout a period of a few weeks or a few months, for example, where most are unsuccessful and only one succeeds. For example, that he counter traded himself, just had two massive positions open, one long, one short, and then just basically started bragging on with the one that was successful, because now people saw him as perhaps an insider or authority, and then perhaps the market could move based on it. Because again, if you're putting billions of dollars perhaps on the line, right? Theoretically speaking, it could still be a net zero game if you've got both the long and the short, only the funding. But perhaps you've got enough authority because of everybody covering it, thinking you're an insider, where you can actually move the price a little bit. And again, if we're talking perhaps about $1 billion trade, you don't need the price to move that much to be able to make an insane amount of profit. Might be what's going on in the background. I'm just quickly stating. And I'll keep telling you this. I keep stating just how manipulated the crypto space is right now. Please do not forget it. Please realize that whenever I see headlines like this, there's right now the most trending thing over on X about crypto is that this whale insider guy put two take profits at, I think, 69 and 56,000, something like that. It's going so viral, it's so crazy. And I keep thinking what a psyop this must be, that people really want the price. Distracted a little bit by the view. Man, take a look at that, huh? Just, somebody swimming. Damn, take a look at that. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, point just being that people really want to spin this narrative so bad. They want to be a bear so bad that all of a sudden there's all these accusations of insiders knowing something, and you got to sell everything right now because he knows what's going on. Whereas I just see it as one person trying to make it big for himself, trying to spread some false rumors, trying to get the trade of a lifetime, probably not being able to do it. Then again, because of some of the strange things that happened around the Trump announcements with Bitcoin's reserve, etc., there is more to the claim, I should say, than you might think. So let me rephrase that a bit. A little bit ago, right, a few weeks back, there were a couple of massive trades made with hundreds of millions of dollars. One was made along just before Trump announced the strategic reserve, and I believe also something pretty crazy happened just before he announced those altcoins in the reserve. And then a second one was a massive short just before he slashed something down, or he said something negative about crypto. Don't remember exactly what, but anyway, in the wake of that, after that happened, there came a lot more rumors of perhaps either insider trading or some shady manipulation going on. And I think one of the funny parts that people seem to forget about the crypto space is that the manipulation is only going to get worse the bigger the players are that enter the game. Just think about it. In the traditional stock market, for example, the rules are so severe, but still, theoretically speaking, there's always shady stuff going on if we're talking about these huge caps, right? Crypto is still so small, so if a very big player wants to make massive amounts of money, you stand out too much. Too many people know nearly instantly. But in the traditional markets, it's a lot easier to get away with a couple $100 million or a couple $1 billion worth of a differential or difference. Now, as crypto gets bigger, the ETFs play a bigger and bigger role. I also presume that this is going to become an increasingly big problem. So whenever we talk about manipulation now, yes, it's an issue. Yes, it's a thing that's starting to get more and more prevalent, but I'm telling you right now that the real crazy shenanigans we have not even heard about yet, because we probably can't even fathom exactly what they're building in the background. And a good example of that is, first of all, Trump, Larry Fink, JP Morgan, all those were once against Bitcoin, against crypto. Most likely were actually accumulating in the background while changing their views. Because think about it. Trump made statements, Larry Fink made statements, and JP Morgan made statements in the past saying this is going to zero, shouldn't touch it, 𝗷𝗶𝘀𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. And at some point they switched their minds. I mean, of course, people can change minds, sure. But do you understand that these three are some of the most pivotal, some of the most key players in this industry right now? And it makes you wonder, Did they not see the potential at that point and they switched their minds? Or did they know, but they wanted you to think it's bad so they could get more, for example, could push things down? And even right now, I keep thinking, if somebody had told me a strategic Bitcoin reserve or strategic altcoin reserve or whatever would be coming up, why would I sell on that? You might say, yeah, because, well, it's the announcement, that was the big thing, but they implemented blah, blah. So the United States hinted that they might add altcoins in there or US-based coins. At least Bitcoin, they're going to try. They're going to keep Bitcoin, hold it in their reserves because they saw how much they missed out on. Why in the world would that ever make prices go down even a little bit? When you really start thinking about it, it doesn't make that much sense. And anybody who brings up an argument as to why, really sit down again and think about it. Think about what I just said. The United States government says we can't afford to sell this Bitcoin because it will probably be worth too much. It's better for us to hold on. If you can't fathom why me as a peasant, right, why I should not be selling them, if even the United States government knows some, I don't know. I think a lot of people are just being misguided. And I say it a lot, but especially those coins like Solana, XRP, ADA at this position, I think if you're selling those, you're in a pretty crazy spot. I personally think, mostly because they were mentioned. And with XRP, for example, this lawsuit will probably be over soon, cause a pretty crazy pump. You can see that's why the coin is pretty stable relative to, for example, ETH, which didn't get some of the crazier announcements. But more importantly, I just think another massive wave of support most likely will come because he knows he can get a lot of attention with it and he can get the price to move a lot if they also hold a lot. I mean, this guy owns so much crypto himself, talking about Trump and his affiliates. It makes too much sense for him to make this space go up. And I just keep realizing that here. I'm chilling right now. You might be thinking, what are you doing? There's not that much to discuss. There's not that much to cover, right? I take a look at the news every single day. And every single time the announcements are meh. All it is right now is just manipulation, getting into your mind, making you want to sell. And all I keep thinking about is, as long as you do not give up, do not let them get to you, you will be fine. But that's about it for right now. It's just mind games. That's all you can call it. Just mind games, mind games. Ultimately, we will win.